Yeah. Let's start with a lovely seated asana, sukhasana. Easy cross-legged pose. Up nice and tall. Oh, I know what I've done wrong. So close your eyes. Take a few nice, easy breaths. So when you're sitting in sukhasana with your eyes closed and your spine long, if you're super uncomfortable, it's going to be hard for you to relax and breathe. So find a position that is more comfortable. Maybe sukhasana isn't quite right for you just yet. It will come, I promise. Maybe sitting with your legs straight out in front of you is a better option. Maybe you have them just over to the side. Doesn't matter. Whatever works for you. We want, the emphasis is on getting that length in the spine, length in the body, in the sides of the body, in the front of the body, so we can lift the shoulders and then relax the shoulders. Lengthen the neck and the crown of your head lifted up towards the ceiling. So always adapt if you need to. So as you sit here, setting aside the outside world, putting everything aside, bringing your own focus inwards to the room that you're in. Just picture where you are. And then picture yourself sitting in that room. Feel your hands, feel your feet, feel your back. Are you warm? Are you cold? Are you just right? Think about taking those lovely, deep, slow breaths right down into your belly. Notice your skin on your face and your hands. Notice the top of your head, the back of your neck. Your sit bones, are they evenly balanced on the ground? Equal amount of weight on the right and the left. Set your sankalpa for your practice. So what is your intention for yourself, for your practice for today? What is it that you want more of, that you want less of? So we focus on what we want more of, we get rid of other things to make space. So as you breathe in, breathing in all that light and warmth and all the things that you want more of. And as you breathe out, just letting things that you've been holding on to just slide off your shoulders, drop onto the floor and melt away. Never worry about letting go of something that still needs to be with you, because it will just come back. So if something feels heavy, let it go. And taking a deep breath, and this time just breathing in through your nostrils, right down into your belly. Let's breathe together. And breathing out through your mouth. Imagine that you're blowing a little feather all the way across a long table, evenly, so that it slides the same pace right from the beginning to the very end. And with each breath, that feather is back right in front of you. And your challenge is to let it slide away without bumps and stops, evenly, trying to make that table as long as you possibly can, and the progress of that feather as slow as you possibly can. Are you holding any tension in your shoulders? Try to just let your shoulders drop. Still keeping the crown of your head lifting up. Some length in your neck, chin slightly lifted. There we go. Let's do one more breath. Last one. Make this one as long as possible on the out breath. letting go of any tension in your thighs, in your belly, in your chest. Reminding yourself of your sankalpa. And lovely. And a nice way to start. Well done. So take your legs out to the sides and make sure that you move anything that needs to move. I've got a little bit of extra flesh going on here, so I'm going to lift. I want to have that nice connection with my sit bones and the mat. Again, up tall. Just take your hands to your legs, wherever they're comfortable on your legs, because we're going to use the arms as well here. We're going to do some nice big hip circles. So we're going to go over to the right, bend, fold, whatever it feels like, go all the way around and come up. So start to use your arms here. As you go down, take some weight into your arms. And as you move over, push away. So we're pushing away with the right hand as we move up to the left, coming all the way up, pushing on the left as we come over to the right. So it's all the way around, over your leg, and then over the other leg as low as possible. But then come out to the side. So look over to the side, to the end of your mat, and push with the opposite hand. So we're bringing it into a little bit of a twist and then come up. And as you come up, sit back a little. So you'll start to engage your core, engage your thigh muscles, and then come around again, look to the side, and then come low as you can over that thigh, low as you can over the middle bit, the empty quarter, and then over to the left leg and round and up and back. So one more big circle. Think about what's going on in your hips, inside of your body, starting to wake everything up. Moving around in that nice big circle. Come back to center now. Just stay for a breath. Especially if you've been holding your breath. And then let's go over to the other side. So nice and slow and deliberate. Think about which muscles are switching on. Try and keep both sit bones on the floor. One's going to want to leave as you go over to the other side. Challenge is to try and keep them on the floor as well as moving around. Nice and slow, not holding your breath. So nice deep breaths. Maybe it helps to breathe in as you come up here. And then as you come around and down, breathing out. Hopefully you can feel that in the backs of your legs. Hopefully you can feel it in the sides of your body. Let's do one more. Well done. Coming all the way up. So nice and gentle movement. A little bit waking up of hips going on there. So bring your feet into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Heels are in towards your body, toes are pointing outwards. And we might be a little bit stiff in this posture this morning. We haven't moved yet. Normally we come into Baddha Konasana towards the end, but we're starting out in our Baddha Konasana today. So your challenge here is to try and bring your heels in towards your body. Take your knees down towards the mat, and that's the compromise. So you might have to come a little bit further out to get your knees a little bit further down. Whatever, just go with whatever works for you. But the big challenge is trying to have a straight back, especially your lower back. You'll want to probably bow out because that is so much easier for the hips because then they can just kind of relax there like a nice big saggy relaxed thing. But we want to try and lift the chest, so lift your sternum. There you go. Bringing a bit more tension into the thighs, making that lower back and all those muscles there and the corset of muscles around your torso do some work. There we go. So use your hands. You can put them onto your ankles. I find that's usually the best. And then you could draw yourself forward and push your knees out to the side. So find your comfort here. I know it might not be terribly comfortable, but yeah, you're doing very well. And drop your chin to your chest. So a nice little stretch in the back of the neck, all the way down. Think about relaxing your shoulders, even though you're using your arms. Think about letting the weight of your head drop down. Think about how far down can you feel that stretch. And then notice, are you even? Are your feet lined up with each other? Don't worry if they're not. It might be that one foot's slightly bigger than the other. That's usually the case for most people, apparently. And breathe. And then we're going to lift the chin in a nice big circle. So draw that chin away from you. Well, draw your chin away from you. Hard to draw somebody else's chin away from you. Lift it all the way up, nice big circle. Drop the back of your head down. And try and relax your shoulders. Lifting your chin. Send your chin up towards the ceiling. As high as you can. So stretching out in the front of your neck and your throat and your communication center. If you've got things that you are not saying because you don't know how to say them, communication is usually better than keeping it all in for your benefit and eventually for everybody's benefit. So stretch that center out, the throat chakra, give it a bit of a warm up, limbering it up. So you can kindly share the things that are on your mind with the people that need to hear. And then come back to center. Let's go over to the left. Sharp left. So chin to your left shoulder. Hard as you can, drawing the right shoulder back, not letting that shoulder travel. Chin to shoulder, but above, not down. Head gaze is up. And then over to the other side, but slowly. So release first. Then come to center, and then come back over to the other side, and then put the pressure on. Looking around behind you, breathing nice and strong. And then coming back, all the way back to the center. Lovely, nice and warmed up. Now we're going to come into tabletop position. So give yourself some space, find that place. Knees under your hips, wrists under your shoulders. Now, if you have issues with your wrists and they're a little bit tricky or you have pain there, you need to put a lot of effort into lifting your shoulders away from your wrists. Instead of just sort of hanging, see if you can see the difference. So let your body just hang here, be heavy across your shoulders, drop down into your wrists. So you feel that pressure in your wrists. Now think about your mid back and lift it up towards the ceiling. So lift your shoulders as a single unit. So straight across, lifting the shoulders away up towards the ceiling. Engage your belly. Press your fingers gently down into the mat. Does that feel different? Do you feel less pressure into your wrists? And pressing your knuckles down into the mat also can help. Okay, now we're going to sit back. So leave your feet where they are. Don't take your big toes together as we normally would in Balasana. Just bring your hips back towards your heels slowly. So hips to heels. And then we're going to scoop forward. Now this will be completely up to you as to what's comfortable. You can just rock back to where we were and then move forward a little. So we're pushing it, making some work for the wrists here. And then come back. So you can do that version. In fact, let's all do that version together 3 times. So that was 1. Bring your forehead to the mat. Take your hips right to your heels. Back into your Balasana as tight as you can. And then look up, lift your head. And then we're just going to pivot forwards. If you can bring your hips, your back and your thighs into a line, go ahead. Otherwise, just keep a little bit of a bend. And then come back down. That was number 2. So let's come into number 3 here. Stretch your arms forward, bring your forehead to the mat. While we're here, pressing your hands into the mat. See if you can get a lovely stretch under your arms. So it's not an area that we're normally doing much stretching with. But we're probably not doing as much with our arms as perhaps we once did in the past when everything was much more manual. Really good to be pushing the shoulders down, opening up under there, and then look forward And let's pivot forward again. So we've got that nice flat body, bringing the hips down towards the mat. A lot of pressure in the wrists and hands and the arms. So only go as far as works for you. And then let's come back. So we're coming back into our balasana. My toes have automatically moved towards each other out of habit. So I'll just move them away again. So pushing down into the mat again, relaxing your neck and head here. And then look up. And this time we're going to try and swoop forward. So if this doesn't work very well for you today, for whatever reason, you just don't feel like it, come back into what we were just doing, okay? But otherwise, keeping your forehead and your nose low to the mat, moving forward, keeping your elbows low all the way forward, and then bringing the hips down and pushing up into balasana. So you're skimming along the mat. We're going to do it again. Don't worry if that didn't quite work. And so coming back down, lifting the hips, keeping low, and all the way into balasana. So looking forward, staying very low. You can keep your elbows down to the mat if you wish. Coming all the way forward and up into balasana. And back again, sending the hips back. Balasana. Swooping forward in a kind of Ashtanga Namaskar, all the way down and into Bhujangasana. If this is feeling very complicated, don't worry, because it actually is. Last one, come back into Balasana and hold. Bring your big toes together, send your knees out to the sides. Let your body come down between your thighs. And pressing the shoulders down into the mat. Well done. Breathe. Okay, coming up into seated position. Try and put my clothes back on. Everything seems to be unrolling today. And then coming into tabletop again. So we're going to come into cat and cow. We're going to do 3 tabletop centered positions today. This is the second one. So cat, cow, you know how you are with your cat, cow, whether you like it, whether you're not that keen. It's amazing for your spine. So take your belly down towards the mat. Lift and widen your shoulders. And then reversing into your cat, an angry cat, or a very happy cat maybe. Sending mid back up towards the ceiling, tucking in tightly, bringing your hips in, squeezing your thighs, squeezing your muscles in your belly, and then coming out. Nice deep breath in as you come to your cow. Relax your face, relax your jaw. Let your sit bones come up towards the ceiling, tummy down towards the floor, and breathing out. It's probably a bit long a hold for one breath, but generally with cat cow, as we come into our cat, we're breathing out. As we come into cow, we're breathing in. You let yourself be guided by your breath. When you need to breathe, move. And at this lovely asana, go whatever pace you want. Sometimes people like to go quite fast, and other people like to go as slow as they possibly can. And we've already done some nice deep, slow breaths. So it shouldn't be too hard, hopefully, to keep going. And then come back to neutral after this last round. Last one. Well done. Hopefully your spine is going to really have enjoyed that. Now we're coming into a strength position. So staying steady on knees and hands. We're going to lift the left leg out behind. Your challenge here is to try and not move anything else in your body. It looks so simple, doesn't it? And then other bits and pieces start moving. So leg out behind, not lifting up your hips. So that hip shouldn't be opening up to the side. We want that hip level, or both hips level. And then bring your left knee back down. Settle. Find your lovely balance, and then take your right leg out behind you. Same deal, trying not to move anything else. No tension in your jaw or your face or your shoulders. Shoulders are wide and broad. Pull your belly button towards your spine. Oops, there's me telling everybody not to flare the hips, and there I was, flaring my right hip up to the ceiling. So hips level, and then bringing that knee back down. So same story of stillness, and we're going to be lifting the left hand up and away. So keep your gaze just next to your right thumb as your left hand disappears off to halo taxi. Oh, you'd have to be in pretty dire straits to be hailing a taxi from this position. So I hope you've had any experience of that. And then let's bring that hand back down. Take a breath, especially if you've been holding your breath. And then right hand lifting up and ahead, pointing out in front of you. Keep breathing, nice slow breath, stretching your fingertips as far away as you can, making your right arm long, and then bringing it back down. You know what we're going to do next, don't you? We're going to add them together because we can. So we're going to go left hand, right leg. Are you ready? So switch everything on so that you've got your stillness, your length in the back, and then let's lift. So here we have balance, we have strength. Remember to lift your right shoulder away from your right wrist. Remember to keep your right hip level with your left hip. Try and lengthen, stretch your fingertips on the left away from your toes on the right. Don't let your belly collapse. Keep your torso lovely and long. And let's come back down slowly. That was quite tough. You can do it one more, and then we're going to come back into Balasana. Ready? Take a breath. And let's go. Right hand, left foot, moving away from each other. Lots of length, lots of strength. Remember to lift away. Don't dump down into that left wrist. Lift the shoulder away. All the work happening in the core, I hope. Squeeze all the muscles on that left leg. Reaching forward, stretching back, and then come back. Well done. All right, take your toes together, take your knees wide, sit yourself back, slide your arms forward, bring your chest to the mat if you can, and then tuck your head down so that your forehead comes to the mat. Drop your forehead. So resting your forehead on the mat lets your neck rest. And hopefully you can relax your jaw, relax your shoulders, soften through the body. Lovely, really good balance posture. And we're going to come up to standing to do some more. So look to your hands. We're not hanging about today, are we? So look to your hands, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. We are coming up to standing, but we are going to be here for a little bit, having a little play in downward facing dog. So hips up towards the ceiling, so tilt them up. What that does is give you that lovely length along the backs of your legs, stretching out Your hamstrings, if you've been doing lots of sitting or walking or running, hamstrings probably do with a really lovely stretch. So here we are, nice opportunity for that. The more you tilt your sit bones and the more you try and encourage your heels down towards the mat, the bigger the stretch. Pull your belly button in towards your spine. Keep your shoulders wide. Think about your spine here. What does your spine look like in this position? Is it all bends? Is it relatively straight? Think about your wrists. Are you lifting your shoulders away from your wrists? Keeping your arms dynamic, not just flopping down and using them as a sort of leaning post, but lifting away from them, pushing the ground away with your hands. Breathe, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw and your face. Maybe even smile. And then we're going to look forward, so look towards our hands. We're coming into upward facing dog. So lean forward, bring the hips down towards the mat. So here we are. Take the tops of your feet flat to the mat, but that's the only part of your leg that touches the ground. Your hips are off. You're hanging here. Send your chest forward between your shoulders, or probably your upper arms more than your shoulders. Looking forward. The drishti point is just in front of you, and squeeze the muscles in your legs. Well done. Tuck your toes. Send your hips back and up. Downward facing dog. Very briefly. Take a deep breath in and out. And let's walk the feet towards the hands and your hands towards your feet till you come to sort of in the middle of your mat. Easy forward bend. So just hanging, folding forward, allowing your head and arms to gently help fold you forward. Soft, gentle bend in the lower back, stretching in the backs of the legs again. And we're going to come up to standing, but like a rag doll. So let your head and your arms just hang. Uncurling. Uncurling, uncurling. Slowly coming up to standing. Very slowly. We've been in an inversion for a while. Whenever you're in inversion, when you come back up, allow everything to settle. Don't rush. Don't rush, don't rush. Let the blood come back to where it thinks it normally is, or where it is normally. And let's come up to some tree. A bit more balance. So all of your weight into your left leg. Get that standing leg nice and strong. Ignore the builders walking around behind me. I've completely forgot to shut that curtain. Okay, so weight into the left. Bring your right foot into that spleen point. So pushing your right heel into your left calf, or the side of your calf. So that is your spleen point 6 in Chinese medicine, and activating that area helps your immune system. So while we've got that going on with the feet, what's happening with the knees? Right knee is trying to come out to the side as much as possible. We did a little bit of a warm up for this in Baddha Konasana, but the tension is probably going to be here. This is going to be where you're feeling it. So lift up nice and tall away from your hips. And just honor what's going on for you with that hip. Okay, we've all got different hip experiences and different amounts of wear and tear and different natural ability is the wrong word, but flexibility, that's the one. I knew it was close. So pushing into that foot of your standing leg, so pushing the sole of your left foot into the ground, lift a little taller, shoulders are relaxed, just give them a wiggle. Let them be relaxed. And there we go. So there is huge benefits to this particular version of Vrikshasana. And if you are comfortable here, stay here. It's not a question of this is level 1 and then there's a level 2 and a level 3 and an advanced golden magic super duper fantastico level. Not a bit of it. They are all equal in their ability to give us some benefit. The benefits are just different. So the next one, if you feel like moving on, if not, stay here. If you feel like moving to a different version, then up on the side of your calf. So this is my knee, nowhere near the knee. We're not pressing on the side of the knee, below. I don't know about you, but I've got a nice handy little dent there where my heel can go. And if you're having a wobbly day, and we all have wobbly days, and perhaps one side might be wobbly and the other side might not, just find something where you can even just put one finger out on to give yourself some steadiness, or you can take your arms out to the side right away. This will give you a little bit more of an arm workout. It just gives you a little bit more balance. The other thing you can do is fix on a fixed point with your gaze and stare at it intently. And another one is to take the tip of your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And anytime your legs get a little bit weary, you can come out and then come back in. Oh, lovely. Okay, now this one, the next or another version is to come all the way up to the top of the thigh. And if you've got slippery leggings, gosh, well then that adds on to another layer of complexity. So to counteract slippery legging-itis, you squeeze the muscles in your thigh as hard as you possibly can to make them like a rock. And then you press that foot in as if you're very life dependent upon it. So arms out for balance, or find something to just touch with your middle finger. And again, we're still trying to get that right knee out to the side. So this version is very tricky. Another way of doing it is to let your foot just rest. Ooh, and I'm going to fall over on your thigh, and pressing your knee out to the side tends to keep your foot up there. So whatever version, pick one of the 4 and do whatever works for you. Well done. Any version is a good version. There we go. So we're working the arms, we're working the torso, we're long in the torso here, and we're holding just for 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax, come back down. Take your legs wide, take your hands to your hips, and fold forward. Coming back into a little mini inversion here. Folding forward, enjoying that sensation in your lower back. A little bit of a lovely stretch, lifting your kneecaps up towards your hips. All that really means is that you've got a gentle bend in the knee, so you're not locking your legs. If you're locking your legs, you're just sort of kind of hanging out there. If you bend your knees and lift your kneecaps, you're having to use all the muscles in your legs. So that's all we're doing, really. We're maximizing the time that we're spending together by making everything work to its full. Well, why not? And then we're going to come up. So see if you can come up with a flat back. That's a little bit of a challenge. Coming up back up with a rounded back is much easier because you have to use your feet, gripping the ground. You have to use your legs. There you go. Right, you know what's coming, don't you? So let's set up that lovely right leg, ready for some strength and balance. And left leg gets to kind of play a little here. So hips level, just have a check, hands on hips. Shoulders level, have a wiggle. Bring your shoulder blades towards each other. So you've got a lovely sternum lifted, heart center open, chin slightly lifted, and pressing the heel in to that spleen point. There we go. Now stay here or move on and find another version if you feel like it. If you're happy in that first version, you can try closing your eyes or gently lowering your gaze right down. So you're almost looking at the tip of your nose and challenge your balance that way. This is your tree, so you have a play with whatever you would like your tree to look like today. Breathing slow, deep. Sometimes we are trees in the breeze. A little bit of a wave and a wobble. Lovely, well done. Any yoga class, whoever's leading it, is just your guide. You need to listen to your body first, and then whoever's burbling along, as I am. And then hands to hips, bringing that leg back down, legs wide. Can you come a little wider this time? Take your toes, point outwards a little bit. I need to find a bit of mat when slipping on this carpet. There you go. And then tilt your hips so that your sit bones are tucked under a little, lengthening through the fronts of your thighs here, taking your arms out to the sides. And then we're just going to lean to the right, keeping your arms nice and level. And then tip. Just a very simple triangle. Lifting the left arm up, your fingertips up towards the ceiling, getting a nice stretch on the side, the left side. Now don't overdo your twists and your stretches if you have issues with your hips. Be gentle and kind. Anywhere you're feeling pain, there's already inflammation, so a gentle stretch might be good, but adding to inflammation is never very wise. And lifting up, coming all the way out. Keep your arms up. Let's keep those arms working. And then sliding to the left. And then tipping. There we go. And if it works for you, you can look up towards that extended right arm. If that isn't comfortable for your neck, you can just carry on looking forward. Left hand is just resting against your leg. It's amazing how much support you can get from just pushing into that left leg. And then as if somebody's holding your right hand, lifting you up towards the ceiling, coming out that way, staying wide with the legs. Prasarita Padottanasana, one more time. Hands to hips, send your chest forward, all the way, all the way, all the way. This time we're going right down towards the ground. So crown of your head towards the mat, let your neck be long. Clasp your hands at the small of your back. So if you interlock your fingers or interlace your fingers on your sacrum, just let your arms be relaxed, your hands relaxed. Head, neck, face, completely relaxed. If you can close your eyes here, close your eyes. Gentle stretch in the hamstrings. A little bit of balance. A lovely inversion And now we're going to add on here. Of course, we're going to add on here. Right, so try and bring the heels of your hands together and lift your hands away. Roll your shoulders towards each other. Roll your shoulder blades towards each other, or squeeze them towards each other rather. Squeeze your upper arms behind you, lifting your arms up towards the ceiling, allowing your head and neck to hang. And from here, strengthen the legs, keeping your arms up, lift all the way back up again. Keeping your arms up if you can, up to standing, all the way up to standing. Well done. And release, bring your arms back down to your sacrum. Allow your shoulders to uncurl, unfold, and release your arms. Bring your hands in front, interlock your fingers, interlace your fingers again. Send them in front of you, send them before you, send them in front of you. Sometimes I have trouble with English. Send them forward and stretch across your back. So that lovely opening up, taking your shoulder blades as far away from each other as you can. Stretching forward, bringing your elbows close together as well. So as close as you can. Caving in a little, so rounding in your back. Moving your hands forward, stretch, 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 stretch. Still with a little bit of a bend in your knees, not locked in the legs. And release. Let your shoulders come back. Take your arms down. Let's give the hands a little bit of a wiggle. So some nice wrist circles as you walk your feet in towards each other. Go the other way. There we go. So legs are back together and feet tight in together. We're going to come into a squat. So if you know that feet tight in together is not going to work for you, give yourself a little space. Otherwise, very slowly, we're going to come into chair pose first. Utkatasana. Take your hands forward, sit your bottom back, squeeze your knees together, squeeze your thighs together, squeeze your calves together. Sitting in that imaginary chair, nice and long in your back and your sides of your body and your belly. Sitting back, can you sit a little lower still, and then all the way into a squat. Much more relaxing chair. Now, having your feet together in squat can be a bit tricky. If you need space, as I said, give yourself some space. Otherwise, we're tucking into a tiny little ball. So round your back, wrap your arms around your knees if you can. If you need balance, hold the floor. Otherwise, as if you were doing a cannonball. Did you ever run and jump into the pool as a cannonball? So you're in midair and you're tucked in a cannonball shape. Bring your chin down to your chest, curl your head. Now, I don't know about you, but this used to be something that was so easy. And I don't know what I've been doing recently. I don't think it's a huge amount of exercise, but this has become so much harder. So if you're struggling, I'm with you. If you're not, then lovely. I need to come and find out what you've been doing that I haven't. It's my shins, I think. Right, so we are here. And we are sitting with this for a moment. And then we're going to come down to the mat again. And we're going to come down to kneeling. So take your hands forward, bring your knees to the mat, and release your feet out behind you. So sitting back. Okay, now I know if you have issues with the tops of your feet hurting or your heels hurting, you can take your feet out to the side. Just want to try and stretch out that muscle in the front of your shin after coming into that tight squat. So lean back a little. back straight, just leaning back. And then come forward, leaning forward, stretching out, letting your torso come to your thighs, forehead down to the mat. And then lifting up to come all the way back up again. And again, leaning back. This time, take your hands to the mat behind you. Lean back, fingertips are pointing towards your heels. Lean back, lift your chest and let your head drop down. If you're ever in a posture where you start to feel a little bit dizzy or nauseous or just not feeling good, come out, take yourself into balasana and just stay there until you feel good again, and then rejoin, whatever it is. Okay, to come out, lift the head, look forward, come up to fingertips, and then sit forward. We're going to come into puppy dog. So slide your hands forward, bring your elbows down, your forearms down, take your forehead to the mat, and then slide forward and lift your hips. So keep your forearms, I can come back a bit because I run out of mat. Keep your forearms on the mat. Slide forward to bring your nose sliding along the mat. Bring your chest down, and at the same time, let your hips come up in the air. So we end up with our arms stretched out in front of us, chin or nose or forehead to the mat, whatever works for you. I've got my chin on the mat. Chest as much as possible on the mat. Hips up into the sky. And the tops of your feet flat to the floor. Now your shoulders might feel quite tight and restricted here. Think about that lovely stretch and opening up under the arms. Think about increased blood flow to that area. So really help with lymphatic drainage, as will cutting off a little bit of circulation in the groin down to the lymphatic system in your legs. Because as soon as we release, it's like a pump valve system. It will allow all that build up to start flowing again. Give it a bit of a jolt, give it a bit of a flush out. And then we're going to come out of here. You might wonder how on earth we're going to come out of here. We're going to keep sliding forward. Slide forward, all the way. Bring your belly down to the mat. There you go. So easy, so easy. So a little bit, we're running out of time here. We're going to bend the knees, bring your heels towards your hips. Now, either one leg at a time or both legs together, you will know what's right for you. I'm going to do a little bit of a back bend here. So I'm going to go with both, but one will look like holding onto your left perhaps and having your right forearm on the mat in front of you. And then doing exactly the same, we just lift one side and not the other, okay? If you're going to try both sides, my clothes on properly, belly hanging out, right. Lift your thighs off the floor, bring your shoulder blades towards each other. We're still looking down at the mat, looking forward, squeezing your glutes, squeezing your shoulders together, and having your thighs off the mat. So not much lift here. Try not to be too restricted in your breathing. Keep breathing in through your nostrils and out through your mouth. There are some asanas that for some reason we automatically just hold our breath, even when we don't really need to. Well, we never need to, but sometimes it's so restricted that it naturally feels that we can't breathe. In this asana, we can still breathe. Squeezing the glutes, shoulders towards each other, or shoulder blades, and release. Well done. Bring yourself into Makara, beautiful Makara, that lovely crocodile. So one arm, forearm stacked on top of the other, and a nice pillow for your forehead to rest on. When you're in Makara, allow your heels to drop out to the sides, relax your legs, and feel that your neck is long. That lovely pressure on your forehead helps to calm, helps to just set yourself back into a nice resting position. Slow, deep breaths here, because we are coming back into Dhanurasana, into our bow again. If you've had enough, you stay in Makara. It's very good, it's very beneficial, it's very calming. If you feel like you've got a little bit more movement, then bend your feet. Bend your feet, don't bend your feet. Bend your legs, bend your knees, and find your feet. There you go, there's the feet I was looking for. Bring your shoulder blades towards each other. And now if you feel like it, when you lift your thighs off, push your feet away, and that will draw you up. So you get that lovely back bend. And if you're in that back bend, however big or small, looking forward, bringing the back of your head to the tops of your arms. And breathe. Lovely back bend. And release. Slowly back. This time, bring your arms into Makara, but take your knees out to the sides. Bring your feet together in a kind of prayer pose, if it's appropriate for you. If your hips do not like this, just bring your legs back down as they were, nice and straight out behind you. Otherwise, come into Makara arms, prayer feet, knees out to the side. Well done. It's been a bit of a pacey class. We've done lots of different things. Also work on hips and spine and shoulders, and especially on waking up the lymphatic system. And lots of lovely calming asana as well. So bring yourself up into a baby cobra. So hands, release your feet, hands either side of your chest, elbows pointing back, looking forward, bringing the back of your head towards your heels and your hips, lifting, using your muscles in your back to lift yourself up. I'm not using my hands here. I can't talk and do this asana at the same time, clearly. Breathe, and then send yourself all the way back into Balasana. Counter pose for those two back bendy ones. Bring your arms either side. And breathe. Lovely. Come all the way up to sitting. Well done. Swing your legs round. Let's come down to the mat. But let's do a little bit more for core. Into Navasana. So find your balancey spot. Where's your balance? Lift your legs. Have your hands either side of your shins, knees. If you need to, just touch gently. But otherwise, what we're trying to do is have a lovely straight back. So how to do that? Send your chest forward. As soon as you send your chest forward, that mid back goes in and you end up with a bit more of a straight back. If you're feeling super active, you can straighten your legs. And then we're going to come from here into rolling down to the mat, or just coming down to lie on the mat, whatever works for you. If you're rolling, tuck your knees into your chest, lengthen through the arms, and allow yourself to just dip gently back. Roll out of the mat again. And move. Bring your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. Well done. Well done. You're here. You spent an hour, not yet an hour, but almost an hour, focused on yourself. I'm sure the rest of the day you're going to be doing a million and one things for everybody and anybody else. Hopefully you've recharged your batteries. And well done for giving yourself the time. Pats on the shoulders, backs all around. Squeeze your thighs and your knees into your chest. Take your arms out to the side. Let's come into a twist. So what twist would you like to do today? Are you going to go just knees over to the side, or are you going to embellish a little? Whatever you feel like doing. Don't forget to bring your head to the opposite side, and remember to keep your shoulders pinned to the mat. And relax into that twist. There we go, lovely. And then head back to center, knees back, skimming across. So just skim them across your chest, over to the other side, head to the opposite side. Head back to center, knees back to center. One last squeeze, hug, and then bring your knees up to the ceiling. Bring your feet out, let them drop outside, in, out, wherever they want to go. Close your eyes, lengthen your arms, lengthen through your legs. Now's the time to have a little wiggle and then adjust and to find where you want to be. Long neck, closed eyes, relaxed face. Make yourself comfortable. And today, while you're in Shavasana, we'll go through a little relaxation sequence. And then I'm going to leave you in Shavasana. If you can stay a little longer. I am going to quietly end the session. But Shavasana is one of the most powerful asanas you can possibly do, especially after a whole hour of opening and stretching and moving and soothing the body. You have done all of the preparation for your perfect Shavasana. So if you can hold for 5, 10, 15, however many minutes is appropriate for you. Don't overthink it. When the time is right, you will just naturally come out of your Shavasana. So fully relaxed, comfortable. You know that when you need to move, you can. There's no restriction of having to keep stock still here. You need to be comfortable. Take a deep breath in, right down into the bottom of your back, of your tummy, right down into the sides of your body, up under your ribs, wherever you can feel a little movement as you take that deep breath in, taking your attention to that area, and your collarbones, into your neck, breathing in and out slowly and deeply. If you have a particular breath that you love to do, go ahead and do that now. Maybe it's a counted breath. And as you breathe in and out, relax your feet, relax your toes, relax the soles of your feet, relax your heels and your ankles, the tops of your feet. Let your feet be completely at ease. And send your feet a little love or a lot of love and gratitude for all they do for you all day, every day. We never think about our feet until we don't have perfect use of our feet. And then we really appreciate what we have. So let's appreciate what we have. So thank you to your lovely feet. And when any negative thoughts pop in, just banish them. It's not the time for negative thoughts. It's time for love and appreciation. So relax your ankles. Send them a little love too. Relax your calves. Relax your shins. Relax your knees. Relax your thighs. Relax your hips. Relax your belly. Let your belly be soft. Moving gently with each breath. Relax your chest. Relax your hands. Relax your wrists. Relax your forearms. Relax your elbows. Relax your upper arms. Relax your shoulders. Feel that the whole of your pelvis is soft and relaxed, and the whole of your shoulder girdle is soft and relaxed too. Relax your throat and neck. Relax the whole of the back of your head. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. Relax your nose. Relax your cheeks. Relax your ears. Relax your mouth. And relax your jaw, chin. Feel that the whole of your body is breathing in each breath, and the whole of your body is breathing out each out breath. As you breathe in, filling up with light and warmth and joy and peace. And as you breathe out, easing and letting go, letting things slide away that you no longer need. Putting things down that are heavy. Breathing in, filling up. Breathing out, letting go. Breathing in, knowing that you are exactly who you are meant to be, exactly where you're meant to be, and you will go exactly where you want to go. Breathing out, feeling a sense of ease and peace as you melt into your mat. Completely relaxed, completely at ease, completely at peace with yourself, with everything around you. And now as you breathe in with each in-breath and out-breath, start with 30, and on the next breath in and out, you move to 29, on the next 28, and so on. So with each in and out breath, counting gently backwards in your mind. If you lose track, that's okay, just start again. Starting with 30, moving down all the way as far as is appropriate for you. And if you drift off and come into your yoga nidra, enjoy that peace and calm. There is no pressure. There's only just being here in the moment with gratitude and joy.